welcome to Bourbon and a Baby. My name is Jay. Max will not be joining us today because he's a baby. Babies don't review bourbon. Today I'm going to be reviewing Corner Creek Kentucky Straight Bourbon Whiskey. I have kind of an interesting story that I'll get into about how I came across this bottle. But first I'm going to go ahead and tell you a little bit about it. It is 88 proof or 44%. And that's about all that there is to know about this. If you go to Corner Creek's website, it's very limited. There's not a lot of information on there. At one time, it's believed that this was kind of owned by the same people that owned Willet and put out through them or put out kind of by them through the Corner Creek name. Now I believe it is under different ownership. I believe, don't quote me because I don't know for sure, but it is owned by Kentucky Artisan Distillery today, which they also produce the Jefferson's bourbon line. So, but this bottle would have been before that. This bottle I bought about 2 years ago, I think. So this would have been from the Willet days, if they were the ones that were sourcing it. It is a sourced whiskey. We don't know where it's sourced from. We don't know the mash bill. There's just not a lot to be known about it. There was rumor that it could potentially have been a 4-grain or at least a blend of rye and wheat whiskeys. But again, not a ton of information out there about this. And one of the reasons I wanted to review it on the channel is because there's not a ton of reviews of this out there as well. So I'm going to go ahead and give it a pour. So as I said, I bought this around 2 years ago. I bought it from the Party Source, which is an amazing store, liquor store in Newport, Kentucky, just across the river from Cincinnati. And I didn't intend to buy it. I went there, I wasn't sure what I was going to buy that day. They have an amazing selection. If you're ever in that area, please go to the Party Source. It's a great store. But I ended up picking up a bottle of Noah's Mill. At that point in time, I had never had Noah's Mill before, so I was excited to try it. And ultimately, that was about all I decided to pick up because I didn't want to spend too much money on that trip. So I was leaving the bourbon section with my bottle of Noah's Mill, and an employee actually said, "Hey, you should check this out. It's Corner Creek. It's from Willet. It's the same bottle as Noah's Mill. Obviously, it's not. It's a lower proof than Noah's Mill is, but they said it was really good, and it was cheap enough to where I could buy it. I believe it was $20, maybe a little bit less than $20. So I was like, what the heck? I'll give it a shot. It came from a recommendation, so I bought it, and I went. I was staying in that area, so I went back to my hotel room. And I was kind of excited about it, so I opened it up and I gave myself a pour, and I hated it. I hated it right off the bat. Just did not like it. But I was in a hotel room, so I didn't have like a glass. I didn't have a Glencairn glass. I didn't have a glass. I just poured it into like one of those plastic, hotel room water cups that you get. So I said maybe that's the reason why I don't like this. So I brought it home and I gave it another chance, and I still did not like it. And then a good friend of mine, she told me a very similar story. She was at the Party Source, and an employee there recommended this bourbon to her, and she bought a bottle, and she was excited to share it with me because she knows that I'm a big bourbon fan. I tried it. I tried her bottle, and I didn't hate it as much as I remembered hating this bottle when I first opened it. So I'm excited to kind of give this another go and see what I think about it. My palate's probably evolved a lot in the last 2 years, and so let's see. We don't know how old it is. Like I said, we don't know much about it. It does say Kentucky Straight Bourbon Whiskey, so if it's labeled straight bourbon whiskey, that means it has to be at least 2 years old. So we know it's at least 2 years old, but other than that, no idea. So let's go ahead and give this a nose. It's pretty light. I get some floral notes. I get a little bit of cinnamon, a little bit of the rye influence in there. Little vanilla. And maybe just a little bit of like ripe fruit. Kind of that crisp, ripe fruit. It actually smells pretty good. It smells a lot better than I remember it being from those first couple of tastes I had of it. Oh, and this, I just had a quick question before I get in to give this a taste. Jo from the Party Source Reviews. If you're watching this, what's about this bottle that your store was recommending it to so much? Let me know in the comments, please. I'd be curious to hear if there's like one employee there that just really loved this stuff, or if you guys just had a bunch of it and you needed to sell it. So please, Jo, shout out to you. Check out Jo's channel, Party Source Reviews. I'll put a link in the comments as well. But yeah, I'd love to see if you have any insight on that. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and give this a taste. Cheers. I get a lot more heat than I would expect from 88 proof. Kind of gives you that nice Kentucky hug. Or it could just be a sign of youth. Again, we don't know how old this is. Maybe it's only 2 to 4 years old, and that's kind of why you're getting more of that alcohol, ethanol flavor and burn. But it's not like off-putting. It's just a little warmer, a little hotter than I would have expected it to be. I do pick up on, I wonder if this is a higher rye mash bill that they used. I do pick up a lot of the flavors that you get from a higher rye bourbon. Yeah, I definitely get that rye influence, some brown sugar, some cinnamon, a little bit of vanilla. I mean, other than that initial burn off that first sip, it's a pretty light drinker. I could see this as being something that if you kind of like this flavor profile, something that you could just kind of sip on regularly. Yeah, just kind of that heavy, almost like taking a bite out of buttered rye bread. I get that a lot, which isn't probably the reason why I didn't like this as much initially, because rye bread's not something that I generally like to eat. I definitely don't hate this as much as I remember, so that's good. But I don't love it either. To me, there's not a lot going on there. I think the rest of this bottle will probably go to maybe mixing in cocktails. I don't see myself kind of coming back to this a lot and just having a pour from it. But it's not bad, especially for like I said, it's been a couple years, so I don't remember the exact price, but I think it was around the $20 range, maybe a little under. So it's not bad. I wouldn't buy another bottle, I don't think. But again, maybe I would, maybe I should, because it's owned by a different company now, supposedly. So, you know, maybe they're doing things differently. They did just recently release a Corner Creek 10-year bourbon, 10-year-old. So there's not a ton of reviews of that out there because it's so new. So I'd be curious to to try that. Honestly, when I first heard saw the news that they were releasing a 10-year bourbon, I was not excited about it at all because I remember hating this so much. So I'm glad to give this another shot and realize that I don't actually hate this. But again, I don't necessarily love it either. It's just kind of it's okay. Yeah, it's just it's kind of real one note that, like I said, that kind of rye bread, a little bit of brown sugar, a little bit of cinnamon, little bit of vanilla, but pretty faint on that. Just kind of, it's a bourbon, and it's okay, which is fine. Like I said, I'll probably use this in cocktails from here on out, or I'm a bourbon and ginger ale fan, so I'll just have to use this as my bourbon and ginger ale mixer for a while to get through this bottle, or share it with some other people that might actually this be something a little bit more up their alley. But for me, I won't say that you should run out and buy a bottle, but give it a try. I don't think it's terrible. I don't think it's bad. I was kind of expecting this to be my first kind of bad review of a bourbon on my channel, but it's not bad. It's not bad. It's just not great. It's okay. So, and that's fine. All right, so we'll wrap it up with that. Please don't forget to subscribe to this channel if you haven't subscribed already. If you are a subscriber, thank you, I appreciate you. But yeah, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, go ahead and like this video. If you liked this video, please, it helps me get seen and it helps you to keep recommending me. And leave me a comment below. Have you had Corner Creek before? What are your thoughts on it? Have you ever even seen it? It's not something I've seen on the shelves here in my part of Ohio, so I don't even know if it's available here. Like I said, I bought this in Kentucky, so can you even buy this? Have you seen it? What are your thoughts? Have you tried the 10-year? If you've tried the 10-year, I would love to hear what your thoughts are on that. So let me know in the comments below as well. And as always, you can follow myself and Max on social media. We are at Bourbon and a Baby on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. And last but not least, you can buy yourself some sweet Bourbon and a Baby swag at Spreadshirt. The link will be in the description below, so please check that out. There's some pretty cool shirts in there and other apparel. All right, thanks for watching. Cheers. Yeah, nah, it's okay.